So a few weeks ago, we paid a guy to come out and put some grass down. I don't know if y'all remember. I'm gonna see if I can put a clip up here. This whole area was just full of dirt and rocks, and because we spent a lot of time out here, and so we called the landlord and was like, "Look, hey, we want to put some grass down. If you pay half, we'll pay half." And so, because sometimes, like I say, things are different from here in Mexico and compared to how they do things in the States. And I believe she ran out of money when she was building this house, which is one of the reasons why we got a great deal on this rental. So sometimes if you want the place to be what you want it to be, sometimes you just have to come out of your own pocket. Now I know a lot of folks are like, I would never do that, but if you're gonna be living here for 1 or 2 years, one of the things you want to do is just make the place comfortable. It's just cheaper just to pay it and get it done. And yeah, the owner might benefit in some cases, in many cases, but hey, we just wanted grass. So we called her up. She was like, yeah, I'll pay half. It was a no-brainer for her. You know what I'm saying? It was a no-brainer. And we knew the price is going to shock you because we did our research before we called her. Just to give you an idea, all of this grass, so we found the gardener. Actually, the guy that normally take care of our lawn at the last place and this place. And so we called him up and was like, hey, man, can you give us a quote? And we called a few others. And so what it included was he had to come out here, dig up all of this grass, dig up the yard to prepare the ground. So with a hand shovel, he was digging out here, all over there. I mean, everywhere. And all over here, he was just digging. And so then he came back out the next day. The guys brought all the sod. It was so much sod they had to make 2 trips, I believe, 2 or 3. They had to load the truck up, and then they'd come and they'd dump the sod off, and then they'd go back and get another truck. And I think they went for a 3rd trip. And so he took all that sod, then he had to come out here and place it down one by one. And so he was out here for like 2.5 days. And then we had some rocks, because the price is going to blow your mind, because I keep telling y'all, cost for labor, cost for materials, depending on what you're doing, is very affordable. So you see all those rocks down here. So he came and put the rock down on the ground, and we also had it done in the front. And I'm gonna give you the price as well. All it had these rock put down in the front, and so the weeds, they're growing a lot faster. So he'll be back in another 2 weeks to get all this stuff taken care of. Look at all the excess water in it. Now we're in rain season, so you got all this weeds growing up. And so he said he couldn't cut the grass for like a month. He wanted the stuff to grow out. A month or 2, I think he said, so that stuff can grow. So anyhow, all that, the cutting, cutting down, digging up the ground, putting the sod down, getting all the rocks, setting the rocks up. He did all this for $550 and US dollars. And that, our cost was, like I said, we split that with the landlord, which is one of the reasons why we did it. We were like, man, for $250, well, 262 and 50 cents, half. We were like, I'm just rounded down to $250. For $250, man, it don't make sense not to do it. And so we are totally happy with the results. I mean, it hasn't been cut yet. It's still growing. Like I say, we can't walk on it yet. And it's a beautiful job. So, again, I'm going to put his name on the screen and his phone number because he does excellent work. His prices are very fair. We were paying 600 pesos for somebody to cut our grass in the previous place, and he came out and quoted us. He was like, oh no, that's only 300 pesos, half the price, so which is like $15 US. And we had a bunch of folks come out and quote us. They was all averaging about 500-600 pesos So I'm guessing that's the average, right? The 5 to 600 pesos everybody else was charging is the average gringo rate. You know what I mean? Whereas everybody else, locals ain't paying that much, which is one of the reasons why when you first move here, because you gonna get got. There's just no way around it. You're gonna get got quite a few times, and you still gonna get got even after you've been here for a while. Which is one of the reasons why it's important to call around and get multiple quotes. But even then, I guess it's just an unwritten policy. Gringos just have a different rate regardless. Um, One of the reasons why it's important to talk to your landlord, and sometimes it's better to have them find service providers for you, so that way you don't get taken advantage of. Um, so yeah, so we're happy out here. We're gonna probably get a little patio set. We got one back there, but something for out here in the yard now that we got some grass. And so I got to come out here. She got in-ground sprinklers, but they don't cover all the areas. That's why you see some patches here. Unbeknownst to us at the time, after he put the grass down, didn't realize the sprinkler wasn't catching in some spots, and so he had to replace a couple of patches because the sun burnt it out. Because it gets hot out here. It's hot right now. So I'm out here watering in the morning time to cover, making sure we get the spots that are not covered by the sprinkler. And she's supposed to be this week getting some additional sprinkler head added. Spend too much money to get their grass done and not to make sure it's covered and whatnot. So like I say, his name is Jonas. Does excellent work. If you have a yard and need it done and want some gardening stuff done, maybe you want some stuff like that back there on your wall. 'Cause a lot of people use those plants like that for privacy. Some of it grow up real tall. Just adds you an extra layer of privacy. In our last house, it was twice the height of those. She had them. I don't know what kind of plants those were, but it grew twice the height of that wall. So, which is the extra layer of privacy that we were given. And so, but give him a shout. He'll take care of you. He'll do you right. Very honest, very fair, and he's gonna make sure you're good, and he's gonna make sure you get quality stuff. We were gonna get some cheaper grass, and he talked us out of it. He was like, no, and he's like, man, for a few dollars more, you can get this type of grass. It's gonna be better. And then you want to walk out here on your lawn. Don't go with the so cheap stuff. And my wife primarily handled all of that, so I don't know what kind of grass this is. She dealt with them, and yeah. So, like I say, we're still learning. Even as we go about, we're still learning. There's things we don't know everything. We still learn. We still make mistakes. We still get got. It's part of the nature. Because if you speak different, look different, they know you ain't from here. It's about how you talk, how you dress, how you sound, how you look, and all of that. So yeah, we're totally happy. Man, I ain't gonna. I love this house. I really, really, really love this house. I love where we're at. We're out here in Concal, northeast of Merida. We could be inside of Merida city limits in less than 7 minutes. Be at Alta Brisa Mall in 10 minutes, and at the hospitals in 10, 12 minutes. And it's just a great area. We absolutely love it. I wish don't get in your own head if you're thinking about making a move, and it doesn't have to be Mexico. Just do your research and find out what place is best for you, so that you can thrive and live the lifestyle that you want. You don't. It doesn't have to be Mexico, but you do have to do the research and figure out that place that's great for you. And I encourage you to get out there and do it. Get outside your comfort zone. Get outside yourself. Get outside your own thoughts. Don't listen to your family and friends. Most of them ain't been nowhere, so you can't listen to them for advice. Can't listen to anything they say. Really, you really can't. And um, let me get back here. They're gonna put some rocks back here, I believe. You can't don't let family get in your way. You gotta do you. I'm gonna tell you something, man. One thing I know for sure, and I feel this every day I get old. Each day I get old, I'm 51. There's gonna come a day when I'm gonna die. I ain't gonna be here, you know, and I don't want to be making decisions and missing out on living life because I'm concerned about what other people think or because it got to be a certain way. No, get your butt out here and do what's right for you. Don't worry about what's right for everybody else. What's right for you? Because once you dead and gone, one generation later, ain't nobody gonna remember you. Hell, 50 years down the road, ain't nobody gonna remember you. My dad has passed about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and and it's true. As time go by, you don't think about your people as much, and life goes on, and I think about them all the time. You know what I mean? But as time go by, I think I look at my kids. They don't think about them as much as I think about them. So imagine when they have their children not even gonna think about them at all. And as they continue to become adults, they're not gonna think about them very much at all. So life goes on. People gonna forget who you are. Think about Michael Jackson. He's been dead for a while. How often have you thought about Michael Jackson? And he's famous. And if you ain't thinking about him, Prince, if you ain't thinking about him, they're gonna forget you too. That's just the reality of life. Life goes on. So you gotta live for you and do what's best for you. Especially if you got children and they're raised and they're adults now, man, you can't be worried about what they got going on. It's time for them to live their life. And you go on and live out the rest of yours. And I just refuse to be one that's going to live mine out in complete fear and struggling and hustling and bustling. And now that I done found out this type of living is possible, where it's so much less stress, and granted I had to move somewhere else, and again, just kind of like engineering your life, planning your life so that you can have the best quality life. And sometimes that might mean relocating, geo arbitrage, you know what I mean? Moving somewhere else where it works for you. And when you saving all kinds of money because of relocation somewhere or taking a different job so that you can live somewhere else. Because, see, a lot of folks are like, well, I'm making good money at my current job, but you're unhappy. And then you get paid. And then after you pay all your bills, you don't have any money left. So what are you really doing? You literally working to get by. You're working to live, literally. And, literally, that's what you're doing. So even though you have a good job, you don't got no money left. And you don't have a quality of life left because you don't got no money left to enjoy the quality of life, to do the things that really matter. So again, hacking, life hacking, taking a look at your life and making some changes and some hacks to make it better for you to do the things you do. And that might mean say, hey, I'm going to get me a $15 an hour job online. And then I'm going to go move to this place so I can have a better quality of life and actually have some money left over with my $15 an hour job, versus my $30 an hour job. $30 an hour job, and you struggling, you broke, and you held captive. Really, what's the difference? So, and in places like Mexico's not the cheapest place. There's places where it's even cheaper to live, more affordable to live than Mexico. So places like Colombia, Ecuador. What else? There's places all over, but you just got to do your research where you don't have to make as much money. My daughter is currently traveling. She's living in Italy. She done figured out a way where she can travel to all these different places and live for free. They pay for her room, they pay for her board, they feed her 3 meals a day. The last host she was with, when she spent 3 weeks there in Milan, Italy, and at the end of the 3 weeks, after feeding her, I mean, the girl ate pasta every day. She said she ate pasta, drank wine every single day. And for the 3 weeks she was there, good fresh bread made, and it had wine with every meal. And she didn't have to pay for that. And then she had, at the end of the 3 weeks, they gave her a boatload of cash as a way of saying thank you. We appreciate your help while you was here, and sent her on her way. And she went on to the next place. She's in Sardinia right now. After which she'll be heading to Switzerland. And so all she had to do was pay for airfare to get to Italy. I bought a ticket, and I told her specifically, I said, we're gonna hack this thing. We're gonna think this through. All your assignments that you get, just stay within Europe, because I can get you there from point A to point B to different parts of Europe for $30 to $50 to $60. So just keep it there. Stay there, travel that area for 6 months to a year. And, after about 7, 8, 9 months, if you decide you want to bounce to Asia, you can hop over there. And then once you get over there, you stay in the Southeast Asia region, because, again, it's very cheap to get around. Take the trains, and the flights are super, super cheap. I think she ended up taking a ferry to Sardinia. Took the train from Milan to, I forget the name of the area she went, and then from there, it was like $35. If the plane was $50 from Milan all the way to Sardinia. There was an airport there, $50. So again, that's why I say you gotta engineer this thing. You gotta put it together yourself and figure it out and make it work. So for traveling, it's next to nothing now that she's there. So again, you got to think this through. So, hey, if you got questions, I would love to talk to you. If you need help planning your strategy, hey, let's hop on the phone, book a consultation. I'll also encourage you to join our VIP group, moveabroadandthrive.com. You'll see a link that says join VIP. In that section there's a section called Ask Cartes. You can ask me all the questions you want in that group, and I generally answer within 48 to 72 hours. And so that's a little cheaper than consultations. So, and like I say, you can ask as many questions as you like for, the next several months if you wanted to. So book a consultation, man. This, you got one shot at this. We halfway through 2025 right now, halfway through the year. We're halfway through the year right now, and there's nothing holding you back but yourself and your thoughts. You can figure out a way to get out. You just got to get creative. And if Mexico don't work for you, like I say, there's other places. I know some, the immigration rules have changed here. And so some people are finding it a little bit more challenging to make it work. So, but there's other places. Don't just be stuck on Mexico. Do the research. Do your homework. You got options, man. You got options. So, and when my daughter tells me some of the places in Italy are so cheap and affordable to live, it's like, really? So again, you got options all over the world to live. So move abroad and thrive. Thank you for watching.